Good evening. Today we'll discuss about the topic called dashboards in Python. In last session, I have discussed about the concept of dashboards in Excel. But the main purpose of dashboard is nothing but to visualize the data. So if you have large amount of data, huge amount of data, and you want to visualize the data in the form of charts or something, then we can able to use the concept of dashboard. So they will allow you to see multiple graphs at a time also. So this is the concept of dashboards, where is mostly used to analyze the data. So in an organization, sometimes if you want to analyze the functionality or different operations of different departments in an organization based upon the collective data which is captured or entered from the different resources, you can use the concept of dashboards. In dashboards in Python, we can create the dashboards in two ways. One, we can create the data sets, and with the data sets, we can able to create the data frames. Using the data frames, we can plot the graphs. So means first we have to create the data set, and with the help of the data set, you can create the data frames. So here data set is nothing but the collective data which have the number of fields and the different types of data related to the different fields. While collecting all the data in the data set, we have to fix into the specific frame called the data frame, which will help us to set the data into the specific format. Once you have created the data frame, with the help of the data frame, you can able to analyze the data. While analyzing the data, we can able to find the averages, minimums or maximums. It's like a group, different group by functions also we can able to apply just upon the requirement by the organizations. So here in this PDF, I'm explaining about the Python code that illustrate how to work with data frame. So here in this case, what I did is first I have created a data frame. So here DS is nothing but the data frame here, data set. So a data set generally can be created with the help of a dictionary or the list. In earlier classes, we can aware of the concept of what is the list and what is the dictionary. They are the data structures which allows to store the different kinds of data. So in this dictionary, you can able to store the data of different types. So the main difference between the dictionary and the list is a list will have the number of elements of similar data and dissimilar data as a combination of data. Where in case of dictionaries, we have the key value pairs. So what is the key value pairs here is the key and its represented values. So means every key will hold some values. If you want to access an element of a dictionary, we can take the help of keys. But in case of list, if you want to access the element, we have to use the concept of indexing. So where we are aware of the programming like C or C++, we can call the index where in case of arrays. Like arrays, here list also be same cases where we can, the index starts from 0 to n-1. Here I am creating the data set with the help of a dictionary, which contains here that this is called a key. This we can call as a key, and these are the values that represent the key. So when you see here, a key will have multiple values. So is it possible to hold a dictionary key have multiple values, which can be possible with the help of list. So generally list will be represented in the square brackets, whereas the dictionaries will represent the curly braces. So in this case, I am creating the dataset DS with the help of dictionaries as well as the list. So this is nothing but the concept of list inside a dictionary. So I am creating the dataset with the help of list and dictionary. Here, the product key contains that is following data in a list. Here contain this data and the quantity contain this data. So here, now here DF means nothing but the data frame. So once I have created the data set, I have to place the data into the data frame. So I am using the creating the data frame with the help of the data set. So how can you create the data frame? If you want to create the data frame, Python, we have one library called pandas. So pandas is a library which helps us to create the data frames and the series. Your data frames are series are different types of data structures where you can able to create the data in a specific formats. Here I'm using the data frames concept. With the help of the data frames concept, I'm using the data set which I have created earlier. I have created the data frame DF. Now I have created the data set. I place the data set into the data frame. Now I am using this data frame to get the required information from the data set. So this statement, which I indicates here, DF product, this statement will provides information that is about product wise. See here, group by means the product wise. In each and every product, how many products we have? The product wise, quantity, sum. So means what we are doing is first it will segregate all the different products at one side, and by grouping the product, it will find the sum of the quantity. So take an example here. We have rice twice. So what the statement will do is it will find the quantity under the rice here, 20,000, 2,000, and also the 3,500. Both will be added in the case of sum. So what we are doing here is we are collecting sum. So what is the output of this statement is it provides the data frame with group by of the product. So any group by functions, whether in SQL or anything, basically using for the purpose of aggregation of data. So aggregation of data is nothing but finding the maximum, minimum, mode, median, etc. Average. So this statement will help us to find sum of quantity for each and every product. The second case, see here, I am specifying df underscore year. So here I group the data in the data set and based upon the product. The second case, I'm grouping the data based upon the year. So I am taking two kinds of data from the data set. The first data frame which we are creating, that is related to the product wise quantity totals. The second data frame related to the year wise quantity totals. So now this statement will help us to create our plot tables. So here the subplots means nothing but if you want to specify only single image, a single chart in a dashboard, you can do. Here if I say 2,2 means I can able to specify total number of 4 graphs at one place. So 2 rows and 2 columns like that one. The first row 0 position, 0 0 1 0 2, as we discussed in the concept of matrices 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. So this is nothing but the figure size which you want to provide when you see the images. So what it will happen is it will create the frame for the charts, and the frame is divided into 4 parts of equal sizes. Now I'm setting the style as a dark grid style. So the grid styles we can able to apply whatever the style you want. So this statement figure 1. So figure 1 is nothing but what first graph I want to place on the frame, which I have created this one. This statement is creating a frame with able to store 4 graphs. Out of this one, first figure what I want to place here is, I am placing the data, I am placing a bar plot, means bar chart, with the help of the data. What the data, this one, this data is belongs to quantity greater than 0. So wherever the quantity is greater than 0, that data will be collected and that data will be stored into the data set data, and this will be help in the plotting of the table data. So what is the output of this one is, it will provide a bar chart product wise. Product wise, what are the different quantities? So it is a graph between the product and the quantity. This statement. So this statement will allow you to create or plot a bar chart based upon the product and quantity. The same way, the figure 2 will help us to plot a chart based upon here year and the quantity. So the two cases here, the first one will describe a chart that describes about the product versus quantity. Second one is the year versus quantity. The third one, I am using the line plot. So you are aware of the graphs of line graphs, which are able to compare the two different values or whatever it may be. So in this one, same concept I am also using for line chart and also this here. So these figure 3 and figure 4, which will be fixed to the dashboard, those will be of 2 line plots. So whatever the output we are presenting, the data output will be in the bar plot in the first for figure 1 and figure 2. Where figure 3 and figure 4, the same data will be present in the line chart. So the figure 3 indicates a line chart. X-axis is the product and Y-axis is the quantity. The figure 4 indicates the year axis, year as a X-axis and product as a Y-axis. So the PLT does show, the statement will show the charts on the dashboard. So see here, the first case, the data will be collected like this. So what happened here is, it is grouped the data based upon the product and it is adding the values. See here we have dal here is 5,300. When you see the data here, see dal is the second item. The second item first value here 3,000 and the next one is 2,300. So which is nothing but the total of 5,300. The same way second product, third product. As long as you have a number of products, you can able to take any number of products. I am taking the simple data. Here see this is the DF year. So this indicates the first one is the group by product. I will get the quantity, sum of quantities. And the second one, year wise, group by year. Group by year, I am writing the total quantity. Okay. Now see the graph, what we acquired from the figure 1 and figure 2. So when you see this one, you can understand clearly. See, this indicates dal, kerosene, rice. So product, this is the quantity. So this is the graph between product and the quantity. But the second one, the second frame or the second figure represent the year versus the quantity. Same way when you go to the next one, you can able to see here the product versus, here you see the product versus quantity, and here year versus quantity. Product versus quantity and the year versus quantity. So this is the line plot. These two are the line plots. Here the previous ones are the bar plots. Likewise, you can able to create any type of. So when you execute the Python compiler to the compiler or something, if you change the values in the data set, automatically the graphs will also be changed. So this is the concept of how to implement a dashboard or prepare a dashboard with the help of a Python, with the help of a data set. So it means I have to create my own data set, and with the help of the data set, I have to create a data frame. And what are the data frame I have created? I have to apply the conditions, which data I want to get from the data set, data frame. And with the help of the data frame data, I can able to plot the different types of charts. And I can able to place all the charts at one place to visualize the data clearly. So this is about the concept of visualization of data, nothing but the creating of dashboards with the help of Python specifically using the data sets. In the next session, I will explain the same dashboard creation with the CSV files. So CSV files, I think most of the people are aware about the comma separate values. So it's just like an Excel file, which contains the existing data, which is collected from the different sources. And with the help of the data, you can use the data into the Python, and you can analyze the data, and you can able to plot the dashboards. So next section, I will explain how to create the dashboards in Python using CSV files. This section is about how to visualize the data in dashboards with the help of data sets. So you have to simple data set, nothing but the collection of rows and columns, which are the attributes we can call, sometimes it's called attributes, and data whatever it may be in the different formats. So what are the data we have formatted that should be placed in the data frame? And by filtering the data frame, we can able to get the specific data which you want to go. In this case, we have two types of data we have filtered. The first one is filtered based upon the product wise, what is the total quantity? And the same way, year wise, what is the total quantity? I take both the information, I have plot the different type. You can use a bar chart, a stacked bar chart, or line chart, pie chart. You can do any kind of charts with the help of the data. Okay. The next section, we'll discuss about the concept of how to plot the charts with the help of CSV file. Thank you.